Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Pulse. I'm just going to make up a
Holst.
whole new podcast. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the Microsoft roadmap for March 10th, 2025, and it's broken down into four groupings. In development means Microsoft is working on it. Rolling out means it's starting to appear in different tenants. And launched means it should be in all tenants that it's meant to be released for. Then we also have cancellations. Now, we don't have any cancellations this week, so we'll be focusing on the three groups. And we're going to get started with in development. So, there were a couple things in development that I liked. One is Microsoft Teams send messages to attendees in the meeting lobby with lobby chat.
That's cool.
So, I know. I do so many sessions that this is going to be very helpful. Now, meeting organizers and co organizers can send one way messages to attendees in the lobby through the lobby chat. Now, the lobby chat is intended to optimize the lobby experience for all participants, ensuring that organizers are better equipped to run external meetings, have more control over meetings with external participants, and external attendees are welcome and informed about the meeting upon the meeting start. So this is coming out in May 2005. I think if they really want to make the lobby a much more comfortable experience for attendees, they should put in a bar.
Of course, now I'm thinking of the whole 1950s. Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go
Let's
out to
all
the
go to the
lobby.
lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and
Oh,
get ourselves a
the
snack.
snack, popcorn and hot dogs are walking down the thing. Boy, we just aged ourselves
Yes,
on that one.
which is not on the Microsoft roadmap at all. Then we have new administrator policies to control town hall event access. So previously, Microsoft did not provide a way for Teams admins to control who could attend town halls that were created within their organization. So, with this new policy, tenant administrators can control who can attend town halls created by members within their organization. And that's also due out in May. And Tom, did you have a couple that you liked? Because then I can come back and hit the other ones after you've had a couple.
Sure. So Microsoft Teams, the ability to stop Copilot while it's generating a response. So for some reason, it's taken a while for your response to be formulated by Copilot, or if you just started and you're like, stop, I don't need that big response, I want something different. You'll now have a stop button to where it'll basically just stop the response and you can go ahead and do a new prompt at that point. So that's coming up in development in April. So you should be seeing that one real soon. Next one, SharePoint agent usage statistics across all SharePoint sites. So the SharePoint agent's usage statistics would be aggregated across all SharePoint sites and available for the SPO tenant admin persona. Basically, this means these are the agents that come built into every SharePoint site, where if you're asking Copilot prompts about something using that SharePoint agent in that particular site, everything is going to be scoped to just that site. So if you have a documentation library, you can use the built-in Copilot agent, SharePoint agent, and you're just going to get answers based on the documentation that's in there. So that's really nice. That's coming out in May, and that's coming out to all the standards. And then SharePoint design ideas for blank flexible sections. So when you add a blank flexible section to your page, you will now be able to open up the design ideas panel over on the right-hand side to get blank section suggestions just as you can for standard sections. I think this is probably a really good idea, especially initially, because in a flexible section, you can just add web parts anywhere in that section you want. You're not prompted to go with column, column, column type thing. So I could see where people would go a little crazy, maybe, and putting their stuff all over the place. This will give you some sort of, oh, here would be a really good idea for what you're looking at and how a layout might work out really well for you in this case. That's coming out in March, and that's coming out to everybody. So
That's coming out in March? Oh my gosh, that's so close.
that is close. That is
So
here.
I've got one in PowerPoint. Designer is now part of Copilot, enhanced with new template and slide suggestions. So Designer is now part of Copilot. Everything is part of Copilot. Copilot suggestions now brings you familiar design slides, layouts, and presentation template suggestions in a vertical gallery along the right-hand side, along with new capabilities. And that's due out in March also.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one because I know a lot of people use Designer in
Mm-hmm.
PowerPoint. And now that it's part of Copilot, I'm assuming that means you need a Copilot license to use it. So that's kind of a step backwards in functionality if you're losing it unless you have
Yeah.
a Copilot license. So we'll have to see how that one plays out.
Just one more way to get you into the
Pretty much.
swim lanes that we're supposed to be in.
Yep.
All right. Anything else in development you wanted to talk about?
One other one that I'll just mention since we're almost ready to rolling out. Microsoft Teams Copilot summary for transferred calls. It's kind of a unique angle here. When a call is forwarded or transferred to another colleague, users can prompt Copilot to automatically summarize the content, open questions, etc., for the call as a briefing for the receiving colleague. This feature ensures that the recipient is well informed about the previous conversations related to the transferred call, enhancing their understanding and preparedness. I think that's great instead of just being handed off to somebody
And have
and the
to
somebody,
retell your
oh
story.
yeah. I love this idea, keeping in mind that it can hallucinate and go off and say things that were never said. But I think to at least give you an overview really quickly of, hey, this is where we went. This may be something that I need to keep in mind as I'm continuing on with this person. Really good idea. I like that one coming out in May, and that's coming out to the standard client.
Great. Well, looking at rolling out Microsoft Teams, the ability for meeting participants to edit their display name. This is really important. Now, it's not coming out to the tenant that I mainly work in, but it's very important for those companies that for email addresses and your account information, you have to use your given name. Well, this would allow you to display a different name, like your nickname. So, Teams meeting participants will be able to edit their display names, enabling more flexibility in their meeting presence, regardless of their tenant set display name. Users can make this change during the meeting and it will persist throughout the duration of the meeting. So, it does sound like you're going to have to set it up for every meeting, which it would be nice if that was sticky.
Yeah.
So, Microsoft Teams' new policy for voice and face enrollment defaulting to on. So, the new policy gives IT admins enhanced flexibility with distinct settings for voice and face enrollment. This adjustment provides greater control over managing these features, allowing organizations to tailor it to their needs. Voice and face enrollment will be enabled by default, enabling voice isolation and speaker recognition in meeting rooms and enhancing intelligent meeting recaps and Copilot for meetings. So that's coming out to everybody that is in the standard tenant and GCC. And the first one I brought up, I lied. It actually is in the tenant that I work most in. So I'm excited about that because there's a guy who I talked to. His name is Matthew and he goes by Melvis. And I would like to call
Okay.
him by his preferred name, but it always just
Right.
says Matthew.
Yeah.
So I forget.
Very cool.
What do you like in rolling out, Tom?
Didn't have a whole lot that really, tripped my
Tripped your trigger?
triggers. Yeah. I will talk about one though, Microsoft Teams iPad multi-window support. So Teams is now supporting multiple windows on iPads. Effortlessly organize your split view experience with two Teams windows to easily navigate across meetings, chats, and more. So I think that's great because it's nice to have an iPad to be able to walk around with that and be part of a meeting. But the fact that you've kind of been stuck with one window and it's hard to flip back and forth and lose your chat but see people and maybe not see the screen, yeah, it's probably not great. So now you're going to be able to have some multi-window support, which will give you some options for how you display things, what you want to see while you're also seeing something else. That's coming out for basically all the tenants, government and standard, and that's coming out this month. So keep an eye open for that if that's something that you like.
Right. For launch, do you want to take Viva Learning or Viva Glint?
Yeah, there's 4 items, and I'm not really a Viva person, so I got nothing here. But yeah, go ahead and pick the 2 you want, and I'll take the other 2.
Okay, I'll take Viva Glint. So Viva Glint enhance the comment experience for live surveys, updating the survey experience to provide ability to display the comment box on the screen when a user is providing a rating. 2 more of those sneezes. All right. Currently, the survey automatically progresses to the next question after the user selects a rating, without giving them an opportunity to leave a comment. With this change, the program will have the ability for the comment box, and it'll be persistently visible, encouraging users to provide more qualitative feedback alongside their rating.
Very
And
nice.
then we also have email previews. This is for Viva Glint. Email previews for live surveys. So customers can preview and test the email notifications for survey start, available in Viva Glint. Survey reminder and survey end results roll out after configuring and approving program settings. Now, those all just rolled out to the standard tenant, to the commercial enterprise. All right,
So the
Tom,
2
what do
that
you got to be learning?
yeah, the 2 that we have in Viva Learning are also rolling out to the standard commercial tenant. And one is Viva Learning Remove Recommendations in Recommended to You. So this gives the users the ability to remove the recommendations which they do not need in the recommended to you section, which is great because it's like recommended to you. No, I didn't want to see it before. I still don't want to see it now. And how do I get rid of it? Well, now you can. And then the final one is remove learning objects shown in progress section. Users can remove learning objects shown in the in progress section, which is probably good if you got halfway through a class, you think, I really don't want to do this one after all, but you don't want to be reminded the fact that you were a quitter every time you go out and look at Viva Learning. So now you're going to be able to see. Yeah, he's like, hey, yep, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm fine. It's gone. Never happened. So yeah, that should be a good one. Again, all of those ones we talked about for Viva are all out this month, and they were all to the commercial tenant.
Great. And that concludes this session of the Microsoft Pulse. Look, I can actually say it. Thanks, Tom, for joining me. Hopefully next week we'll have Jennifer Mason and Adam Oakes back with us to cover more of the geeky stuff on the Microsoft roadmap. Thanks so much, and we hope you tune in next week. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.